Hello YouTube, I'm Toby.
Now if you follow this channel you'll know that a while ago I built this PC into a gaming PC, and unfortunately it died the day after I completed it, but I've actually managed to fix it. Now what broke on the original PC was actually either the CPU or the motherboard. I'm not entirely sure yet which one died, but I actually bought another Lenovo ThinkCentre that I was going to use for another project until I realized that the motherboard was pretty much the exact same, except the CPU is better. And I'm going to turn this into some kind of small form factor FX build. I actually have the FX 6300. I'm still waiting for the motherboard and GPU and some other parts, so that'll be for another day. But this right here, the CPU in here is an Intel i5 2500. It's clocked at 3.3 GHz and it's got 4 cores and 4 threads, so definitely better than the i5 560 that was in here before. The CPU and the motherboard are the only new things in here. We still have 8 GB of DDR3 RAM. It's clocked at 1333 MHz. We have a 550 watt power supply. Down here we have the PNY 120 GB SSD, and we have a 500 GB hard disk drive. And the GPU is still the NVIDIA GTX 760. Now there's not really much reason to go into details about the other components in here since, well, there's already a video out there on that, so I'm just gonna hook this up and we can start benchmarking it.
First benchmark running is the Cinebench R15, and we can see all our lovely 4 cores working as hard as they can, and we ended with a score of 454. Now I'm very happy about this score. It's way beyond what we got with the i5 560, so it's actually a decent upgrade for this system. Next up is the OpenGL test. This ran smooth as always, and we ended with a score of 78.23 frames per second. So once again, I'm very happy with the system. Moving on to the Resident Evil 6 benchmarking tool, we have the settings set to high at 1080p, and the test ran very smooth, and we ended with a score of 9,788, proving that this is a somewhat capable system. PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds did not run as smooth as I had expected. We were running at 1080p and a mixture of medium and low settings. The frame rate seemed to be somewhere between 40 and 60 frames per second, although we did have some dips a little every now and then, unfortunately, but all in all, the game was playable. Now, taking a look at our MSI Afterburner, it looks like we are seeing a GPU bottleneck, as it capped out 100% pretty much through the test, and the CPU did not. Next benchmark is Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Right here we're running a mixture of medium and high settings at 1080p, and although the frame rate seemed to be somewhat a little all over the place, it was always above 100 frames per second and somewhere in between 130 and 180, so a very smooth experience and very playable on this system. Now the MSI Afterburner datasheet is telling us that we are not really seeing any particular bottleneck here. I am putting it on screen so you can judge for yourself, but for the most part it seemed to be running okay. Now the final benchmark we'll be running is Arma 3. I set the settings to low at 1080p, and I'm not very experienced with Arma 3, and thus I think I maybe have capped the frame rate at 60 frames per second, but never went below 60 frames per second, so now 60 FPS is pretty good, and well, it does look a little blurry. I'm not sure what I fiddle with in the settings here, but ultimately I'm very happy with this result. Alright, so the tests are done, for now at least, and I have to say I'm very pleased with how the system has turned out. I'm sort of playing around with the thought of getting a more powerful graphics card, but really I just want to get this system up and running and get it sold so that I can make a little bit of money off of this system. Now the next project I'm going to be working on is the small form factor FX build. I know I teased about it in the beginning, but hopefully I'll get all the parts I need either tomorrow or Monday. But I'm personally looking very much forward to getting to play with that system, and I hope you are as well. Alright, so I know this was a short video, and I'm really not wanting to go too much into detail with this system right now, since I feel like I've already done that. Now I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching.